Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. If you're not, if you are, you're not going to be so happy in a second. But not if you're prepared. So we've talked about 25 days of diesel inventories left. That was a while ago. It's all over the news. Let me just jump right in and share it with you. And we're going to talk about some possible consequences. Diesel shortage update as prices skyrocket over fears supply could run out. U.S. facing diesel shortage as price per gallon soars. Diesel shortage is spreading across the US. That is true. It's crazy. It's crazy what happens when you're not energy independent. Weird. If we couldn't just pay attention to Europe, then we could, if we could just pay attention to Europe, maybe we could figure it out from their screw ups. But, we like to just stop pumping our own oil and refining enough fuel. We like to buy it from other people. Weird. So let's just dive right into this real quick. We're going to go over and we're going to talk about some possible outcomes and things you can do. And I'm going to tell you right now, honestly, I was going to go film myself at the gas pump crying a little bit when I was there filling my truck up, and I put $300 worth of diesel in there. And yes, I know it sounds like a lot, but I do have an extra tank on my truck. And, hey, I wanted to actually drive it down south. I was going to go to Dan's party, allegedly, and I'm like, hey, this would be great. And it's not going to be great because it's one thing if fuel is expensive and you got the money to pay for it. It's another thing if you just can't get it. And can you imagine if we get into a real shortage, price is already skyrocketing. What if we see $8 gallon diesel here in the short term? This could literally happen. So it says an acute shortage of diesel fuel in the US is threatening to keep inflation and heating bills high in the country, though, through the winter, as prices are expected to continue surging. Actually, now all of a sudden I want to look at this. I like old videos of shipwrecks. I don't know why I'm weird. New government data released on Wednesday show that the diesel supplies are unacceptably low, as National Economic Council Director Brian Dissey told Bloomberg TV on Wednesday. According to the Energy Information Administration, the U.S. has now 25 days left of diesel supply. Well, that's weird because it was like 25 days, like 5 days ago. So what is it, 25 or 20? Dissey said that all options are on the table. Yeah, right. Except for like drilling our own oil and refining our own just to lower it. Weird. To replenish U.S. supplies, which have been drained by the impact of the Russian. Oh, that's right. The boogeyman. That's right. They did it. Those guys, they did it. Not us, not our stupid decisions, our Congress, our president, none of them. It's those guys, the boogeyman has had on the global energy supplies and imports. Just so you know, I digressed. Just so you know, I added that. That was ad lib. That wasn't on the title. We're going to go ahead and just click this below so that you guys can read it for yourself. Because if you're in the car, you're probably getting pretty fired up. The news article did not say that. That was ad lib by the ninja. It says, why is diesel so expensive? If you want to be lied to, I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. The price of diesel in the U.S. has been surging due to inventories at very low levels and limited availability to quickly improve supply. This is from Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddies, head of petroleum analysis, oil and refined products analysis analyst, told me, man, that's a long title. Just so you guys know, the truth is diesel is a byproduct of producing gasoline. It should be cheaper. It used to be cheaper from 2006 and throughout history. But I think they figured out a way to actually press the American people and cause more inflation. And that was to actually get diesel to be more expensive. So that's just the truth. So let's segue back into a lie. Imports from Russia have been banned following the Russian invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, contributing to the current supply crunch in which refineries, seasonal maintenance, also played a big part. While supplies of diesel started dwindling in the US, demand is currently at its highest point in 2 years. Weird. It's at its highest point, yet this is seasonality, not a high point for travel. Okay. And as winter approaches, demand for diesel to heat homes is about to rise, likely causing an increase in prices. We're not going to worry about reading the rest of this because I think it's all rhetoric. What I want to do is this. I'm going to link the story below, but I want to talk to you right now. First off, there are some things you can do. I believe, and this is not financial advice, this is just the ninja thinking, that after the elections, if the Democrats take everything, right, we're going to see a massive surge in oil prices. And that's attributed to a couple of things, part of it being a plan and to squeeze Americans, to squeeze literally blood out of a turnip now at this point, because wages aren't going up. Employment isn't increasing like you would, out of this world. But everything's getting more expensive. And this would be one more just little bit of pressure, right? I believe the definition of tribulation is pressure, and that's pressure on you. And that is going to flow through to everyone, especially, oh man, I would screw that up. I'd be a horrible weather person. These guys, the trucking industry, because a lot of independent truckers that have signed contracts out in the future for work, have hopefully hedged their fuel prices. But if they haven't, they could get themselves into a lot of trouble. And not only that, the surcharges that go along with that and the increased costs in shipping of freight, food, fuel, things like that could be exponential if we saw diesel, on a national average hit $6, $7, maybe even $8 a gallon. The truth is this: those headlines I just read you are what people are reading right now, and they're running down and they're all over the news, right? It's on alternative media. It's on mainstream media. People are doing exactly what I did. My truck was empty. I went and filled it up. I threw a couple jerry cans in there too, filled those up. Just why not? Why not? If you got the jerry can, you got the dollars in your pocket, go get it. Because what if we were to all of a sudden mysteriously lose a refinery in a fire? It's not like that hasn't happened in the last couple of years around the world. Wouldn't it be interesting that if all of these things started lining up and all of a sudden a refinery popped off, or some geopolitical event happened to where, oh man, the price of oil just went skyrocketing? Because it's America that still runs the world as far as monetary policy, especially the way the dollar is showing so much strength versus other currencies. So if you think about it, if you want to take out the head, you got to go take out the head. If you want to take out, the animal, you take out the head. And right now, America's the head, and America's economy is what is still holding up the world, because it is still appears to be and perceived to be the strongest economy in the world, right? So what do? You put the squeeze on the little guy. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think, just watching that fuel pump, those fuel prices go up, I can't even imagine. I was watching people pulling in with their RVs and stuff. And I'm like, if you're not living in that thing, how can you afford just to be cruising that thing around with, I was literally watching like Suburbans and, Ford Explorers and stuff towing around RVs. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what your gas bill's like, getting like 8 miles a gallon, 7 miles a gallon in those things. And, I know that's not diesel, but you got to think about the price of fuel rising and rising, and the pressure it puts on people. Remember in 2008, when gasoline and diesel spiked to their highest in that year, which was an all-time high, that was when everything started crumbling back in 2008. And 4 months later, Lehman Brothers finally closed their doors. That psychological damage could happen this fall, especially at a key time where we're getting ready into, if this happened, it's just prolonged. Think about this. The one travel season where you do burn a lot of fuel is Thanksgiving. Can you imagine the Thanksgiving index, the turkey index, needing to actually add gasoline or diesel in that? Because the cost of going and visiting family, I think you might see some really crazy things in the market, because when oil goes up, it puts pressure on all kinds of indexes, stocks, all kinds of investments, because it's so valuable and so needed. So I want you to think about that. So with that being said, I thank you so much. I'm going to put the link below. Thanks to all the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. Economic Ninja is out.